A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to tonight's edition of Primetime News coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka.
And I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
A clash at the Negombo prison. 2 inmates dead. Another 28 in hospital. We are not behind the public forum organized by the Bar Association yesterday. A clarification from the Samagi Jana Balavegya. Why are our cases being heard so quickly when ordinary people's cases are being delayed? Dengue cases surpass 59,000. A special telephone number to report those who maintain premises in a manner conducive for breeding mosquitoes. Trump says America's golden age has begun, addressing the 250th Independence Anniversary celebrations.
And now the story is in detail. 2 inmates have died following a clash between 2 groups of inmates at the Negombo prison.
Director of the Negombo Hospital, Dr. Pushpa Gamalabge, said that 30 injured inmates were admitted to the hospital following the incident.
She added that 10 of the injured inmates underwent a surgery.
A clash between 2 groups of inmates at the Negombo prison took place this afternoon. Injured inmates were immediately admitted to the Negombo hospital. Director of the Negombo Hospital, Dr. Pushpa Gamalabge, said that the 2 of the injured inmates are in a critical condition and have been transferred to the Colombo National Hospital for further treatment. The police said that the tense situation inside the prison is currently being brought under control, and the police special task force has also been deployed to the location. Meanwhile, a group claiming to be relatives of the inmates gathered outside the prison premises. According to police, preliminary investigations have revealed that the clash was between 2 groups, one group supporting and the other group opposing drug trafficking activities. Police further stated that a special security plan has been implemented to strengthen security around the prison.
Lawyers and several other parties are questioning the Bar Association of Sri Lanka over the public forum that the association organized with the participation of opposition politicians regarding the proposals to extend the retirement age of Court of Appeal and Supreme Court judges. In a letter addressed to the President of the Bar Association Sri Lanka, Attorney-at-Law Rajiv Amarasuriya, Attorney-at-Law Kapila Gamage questions whether the true reason for the Bar Association's opposition to this proposal stems from an unusual motive of its leadership objecting to the current Chief Justice holding office.
Attorney-at-Law Kapila Gamage, a member of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, has forwarded a letter to the President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, Attorney-at-Law Rajiv Amarasuriya, regarding the public forum held on the extension of the retirement age of judges. He poses several questions, including the following, and seeks clarifications regarding those matters. On what basis was it predetermined that this would exert an undue influence on the judiciary? Attorney-at-Law Kapila Gamage questions how the Bar Association concluded that extending the retirement age of all judges through a constitutional amendment would constitute an undue influence on the judiciary. Is the real opposition against extending the tenure of the current Chief Justice? In his letter to the President of the Bar Association, Attorney-at-Law Kapila Gamage requests for a clarification as to whether the real reason for the association's opposition to extending the retirement age of all judges is the fact that it would consequently extend the tenure of the current Chief Justice.
Convener of the Left Centre, Chamira Pereira, says that certain political parties are campaigning against the proposal to extend the retirement age of judges, aiming to delay the trials in the ongoing corruption and fraud-related cases.
Looking at the forum held yesterday, a matter that raises suspicion is that we saw a group dominating the proceedings. Who are these people? We know that these are individuals from opposition parties who are currently facing serious allegations and have underworld-like characteristics. These were the people we saw at the forefront claiming that this is an insult to the judiciary and an obstruction to judicial independence. We can see that this group is severely terrified. That is why we hear statements from Sirasa saying they will join hands with anyone. Everyone is afraid because they fear that their past mistakes and corruptions are catching up with them, and they are struggling desperately to overthrow this process. The people of this country have serious doubts about whether this is just another political project. How is increasing the retirement age of judges going to affect the independence of the judiciary? Reveal that to the country. What is the logic here? The other issue that we have is, even with the current retirement age, how much of damage was caused to the independence of the judiciary during the past? How much obstruction was there? How was the Chief Justice of this country removed? What judicial process was followed to remove Shirani Bandaranaike? Where is the justice? Where is the independence? This is how they damaged the independence of the judiciary. We know that a former Justice, Sarath Silva, apologized to the nation for the manner in which he acted to save Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was accused in the Helping Hambantota case. A Chief Justice clearly said that he made a mistake. He said, "I was wrong, forgive me." Where was the independence of the judiciary? This is when the current retirement age is in effect. That is how decisions were made. We can see that ongoing lawsuits, judicial processes and investigations have become a major obstacle today for these corrupt state-backed cronies and political families who ran the country into the ground. Therefore, it is obvious that they have a desperate need to cripple this entire process by any means necessary. That is what this fight is all about. That is why they are saying, "We will do whatever it takes to fight against you by rallying whoever we can." This is exactly what is implied in Siras's statement. This is a moment of sheer blind desperation for them.
Samagi Janabala Vega MP Sirasa says he has temporarily stepped away from Facebook. He made this clarification in response to his earlier remarks regarding the possibility of toppling the government by joining forces with thieves and robbers.
What is this government doing right now? This government is arresting various people. For an example, look at the issues involving Sugishwara Bandara. In broad daylight in Colombo, they stop his vehicle in the middle of the road and haul him away. So, what exactly are they doing? Every opposition member is being treated in the same way. They either become a racist or a thief, or they are turned into a criminal, or even a drug dealer, and in some cases even a terrorist. On the basis of these labels, a significant number of politicians are being systematically pushed into that category day by day. Who will come to clear my name when I get labeled as a thief one day? Why don't I go on Facebook is because there are a bunch of fools in there. It is not a platform where intelligent people engage in meaningful debate, so I don't bother to follow it. You can place all members of our joint opposition in that narrative. Once that is done, everyone will be labeled a thief, a robber, or even a drug dealer. So after labeling everyone like that, who exactly are we supposed to work with? As the opposition, who are we working with?
The head of operations of the SJB trade union, Niroshan Padukka, says that the SJB leadership will take all possible measures against the proposed amendments to extend the retirement age of Court of Appeal and Supreme Court justices.
No, if it had been done by our party, I would know. We did not do that. Yesterday, I saw that the Bar Association had held a very successful discussion regarding the alleged pressure being exerted on the judiciary. I also saw that academics, international representatives, and respected legal experts in the country had participated and spoken about the seriousness of this issue, particularly regarding the extension of the retirement age.
The Civil Intelligence Front says that the government's efforts to enforce the law should be supported.
For over 70 years, this country has experienced a vacuum in addressing fraud and corruption, with a serious lack of institutions effectively working against such malpractice. Historically, when governments came into power, their primary objective was to often satisfy those who had supported their rise. That pattern, which has continued for decades, now appears to have come to an end with the formation of the current government. This is not something that needs to be asserted. It is something that is clearly visible in practice. In my view, it would be difficult to elect a government like this again in the future, and perhaps such a government may not emerge again. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all of us to protect this administration and move forward together. The most fundamental action being taken by this government is the strict enforcement of the law, particularly in relation to offences under the Bribery Act. With such enforcement, those found guilty are not looking at short sentences of 6 months or a year, but potentially 10 or 15 years in prison. Given that many of these individuals are already of advanced age, the law is being applied in a way that could effectively keep them incarcerated for the rest of their lives. Those who previously benefited from the opposition, individuals who thrived under past administrations, along with their associates, supporters, and corrupt intermediaries, are now raising objections against this government. However, they represent only a very small and insignificant segment of society.
හට්ටි මුට්ටිකාරෝ මේගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම දැන් මේ ආණ්ඩුවට එරෙහිව කෑ ගහනවා. ඒ ප්‍රමාණය ඉතාමත්ම අල්ප ප්‍රමාණයක් තමයි ඉන්නේ.
Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs Dinidu Saman Hennayaka says the opposition is resisting efforts to strengthen the judiciary out of fear that a more robust legal system could lead to action being taken against them.
What have certain political figures, including a father and sons, not done in this country by misusing political power? If there was ever a situation where a son could influence his father, the Minister of Justice, to decide on where he as a suspect should be detained and even determine the conditions under which it should happen, one can only imagine the state this country had reached. Similarly, if individuals in the entertainment industry could use their public influence to engage in crimes or even influence decisions involving life and death, it reflects how far the country had deteriorated. Therefore, we believe that people should not be judged based on political status or influence. Behind election campaigns in this country, there are drug traffickers, businessmen who have evaded taxes and illicit financial networks, including their leadership councils, may eventually face legal consequences. We have full confidence in the judiciary and respect its independence. Accordingly, we are awaiting its judgment with confidence. This reflects the aspirations of the people of this country who entrusted us with this mandate to act.
මේක අපේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ අපේක්ෂාවක්. ඕන අපට බලය දුන්නේ ඒක කරන්න. ඒක අපි කරමින් ඉන්නේ.
Meanwhile, speaking at a public meeting held in Kottapulla, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna national organizer Namal Rajapaksa stated that while cases involving them are being heard expeditiously without delay, cases involving the general public tend to take a much longer time to be resolved.
We see the former Navy commander being arrested while the intelligence chief is acquitted. So what exactly is the government's plan? Today, within the judicial system, it takes 10 to 12 years for a criminal case to conclude. There are young people in rural areas who are still entangled in what they claim are fabricated cases, and they are unable to seek foreign employment because they cannot obtain police clearance reports. Some individuals have been appearing in court for 20 to 30 years. What is the government's plan to expedite these cases? However, when it comes to our cases, they are being heard within 6 months. That is acceptable. But justice must also be ensured for these vulnerable people. They too deserve fair and timely justice. There have been attempts to use the justice system for political revenge against us. The government must understand that this does not resolve the real problem of the people of this country. Whose agenda is this? Who are they trying to appease? Whose interests are being served?
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that if all opposition parties come together and work in unity, they have the potential to form a government at a future election.
විපක්ෂ කට්ටිය එකතු වෙලා මේ ආයත මේ ආණ්ඩුව පිටවන්න පුළුවන්ද? පුළුවන් වෙයි. මේ භාගයක් බන්ධනාගාරය තුල ඉන්නේ සර්. ඒ ඉතින් බන්ධනාගාරේ හිටියත් ඒ අයගේ අනිත් අය ඉන්නවා ඉතුරු වෙලා. ඒකට පරිගැනීමක් තමයි කරන්නේ මේක. ඒක ඉතින් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කරන දෙයක් නේ කට්ටිය. හැමදාම බලයට ආපු දවසකට පරිගැනීම කරනවා. බැසිල් මාත්‍යා ඉදිරියේ ලංකාවට එනවද? ඒවි. එයාගේ මාරන්න ඕනේ. ඉන්න දවස අපි දන්නෙත් නැහැ. යන දවස දන්නෙත් නැහැ. එන දවස දන්නෙත් නැහැ. දැනින් දැන මේ රැස්වීමේදී විපක්ෂ එකතු වෙනවා. බලයක් විපක්ෂයට ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයිද? අනිවාර්යයෙන්. ඒක කල්වල වැඩගොත් ඉදිරි මැතිවරණ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම සියලු දෙනා එක්ව එකතු වෙනවද? ඒ සඳහා මහන්සි ගන්නවා. එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන්න.
Minister Bimal Ratnayaka says that the country needs a constructive opposition, not a corrupt and rogue one.
Honestly, we should give Dayasiri Jayasekara some kind of award because they are not revealing who they really are to the public so simply. Therefore, I do not think the people of our country will ever give an opportunity to such an opposition. It doesn't matter if they just sit there for entertainment, but we truly need a constructive opposition, not a corrupt, rogue one. We work hard in Parliament for that, but we are not receiving it. However, we believe that through our own experiences, we identify our own faults and shortcomings. So we take those up as the opposition and work accordingly.
The minister expressed these views while participating in the ceremony to hand over the Residence Kirulapana, a multi-story housing complex located on DM Kolambage Mawata, Kirulapana, built for low-income residents living in the urban areas of Colombo. The housing complex, which consists of 11 floors and 2 blocks with 624 housing units, was built at a cost of 5,784 million rupees.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Welcome back to the news. A dengue relief center has been established to report individuals maintain premises in a manner that breeds mosquitoes.
The introduction of a special telephone number for this purpose took place today at the Ministry of Health.
What is the latest situation regarding dengue? A total of 59,638 dengue cases have been reported across the island so far. The dengue death toll stands at 39. The National Dengue Control Unit stated that 45% of the total dengue cases reported so far from the MOH divisions designated as high-risk areas where dengue is spreading rapidly.
52% of these patients are reported from the Western Province. We have selected 23 MOH divisions from these 3 districts. Accordingly, if we can minimize this through this program, these 23 divisions account for 45% of the total patients. So from today onwards, we will carry this out continuously for a week, and beyond that, we will replan our next steps.
How are the dengue control programs being implemented? A special dengue control program commenced today covering 23 dengue high-risk zones in the Western Province. This is being coordinated through the Clean Sri Lanka program on behalf of the Presidential Secretariat. Accordingly, the program is being implemented in the Maharagama, Kaduwela, Homagama, Gotatuwa, Battaramulla and Piliyandala MOH divisions in the Colombo district, as well as within the Colombo Municipal Council area. This is how houses were inspected along Leslie Ranakalamavata in Borala today. A dengue control program was organized by the Kasbave MOH office and a children's street drama was performed concurrently. Our correspondent said that legal action was initiated against individuals who maintained premises in a manner conducive for the breeding of mosquitoes. Another program was held centering the Kaduela town with the participation of security forces, municipal council employees and public representatives. In the Gampaha district, the special dengue control program is being implemented in the Biyagama, Kalaniya, Siduwa, Jayala, Mahara, Wattala, Negombo and Minuangoda MOH divisions. This is the dengue control program in Valleykampitiya, Jayala. In the Kalutara district, a dengue control program is being implemented covering the Panadura, Bandaragama, Horana, Ingiriya and Kalutara MOH divisions. The inspection of state institutions and their premises in Kalutara also took place today. What action will be taken against people who maintain premises in a manner conducive for the breeding of mosquitoes? A special telephone number has been introduced to report information regarding people who maintain premises in a manner conducive for the breeding of mosquitoes. The telephone number is 011 7966 366. The Dengue Relief Centre, which operates 24 hours a day, can be contacted via this number to provide information. A special discussion regarding dengue control was also held at this centre this morning. It was chaired by the Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanat Kumar Nayaka. The government has also decided to strictly enforce the law against those who maintain premises that breed mosquitoes.
When enforcing the law, no one's status or position will be taken into consideration. It must be stated that the law will be implemented correctly. This is not being said as a warning, but the government has taken a very firm decision to enforce the law.
Weather first.
The Department of Meteorology has issued an advisory for strong winds and rough seas.
Shalini Ratnavira is ready with the details.
Yes, thank you, Sandru and Arundhati. Now, the Department of Meteorology has issued an advisory on strong winds today. Accordingly, strong winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over central, northern and north-central provinces and in Ratnapura, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts due to the active southwest monsoonal condition. Meanwhile, the sea areas off the coast extending from Kankasantere to Kalpitiya via Mana and from Matara to Pottuvel via Hambantota will be very rough at times with strong gusty winds up to 55 to 65 kilometers per hour. Turning to the rainfall forecast, a few showers will occur in western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Galle, Matara, Kandy and Nuwara districts.
Weather first. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
The misplaced service weapon and ammunition belonging to the officer in charge of the traffic division of the Yatiyantota police have now been found in the Kalni River. This follows investigations into the incident where the other failed to return the pistol and 10 rounds of ammunition issued to him after completing his duties on the 26th of June.
The suspect police officer was arrested in connection with the incident on the 28th of last month and was remanded until the 6th of this month after being produced before the Ruwanwala Magistrates Court. Based on information revealed during the investigations, a diving team from the Navy, in collaboration with the Yatiyantota police officers, succeeded in locating the firearm and ammunition during a special search operation conducted near the Garagoda Bridge in Yatiyantota, which spans the Kalani River. Meanwhile, police noted that a sub-inspector of police who served at the Yatiyantota police station has been transferred to the Avistavela police division owing to his connection to the incident.
The University of Shirja Vadanpura's Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences marked its diploma convocation today.
The University of Sri Javadanapura hosted its convocation for the diploma holders of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Under the supervision of the Dean, Senior Professor Shiranta Heenkenda, the event was split into 2 specialized sessions featuring industry experts and scholars.
සමාජීය විද්‍යාපීඨ මණ්ඩලයේ සහ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලීය
The new graduates were awarded with diplomas for areas such as IT, history, rural development and criminology. All certificates were presented by Vice-Chancellor of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, Senior Professor Padmalal M. Manake, marking a significant professional milestone for all participants.
The United States of America marked its 250th anniversary with fireworks and flyovers, but celebrations across the country were complicated by extreme weather.
Speaking at the national celebration, US President Donald Trump hailed America as the crowning achievement of human history. Omitra Bekoni is ready to bring us the details. Omitra, over to you.
Thank you, Arundhati and Sandru. Now, the United States marked its 250th birthday with nationwide events, including a series of concerts and flypasts, as well as firework displays. The 4th of July federal holiday commemorates the 13 U.S. colonies signing the Declaration of Independence in 1776 to end the British rule. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump, speaking to a cheering crowd during the national celebration of independence in Washington's National Mall, said, quote-unquote, "The American dream is back." Let's take a look.
The US celebrated its 250th Independence Day on Saturday, the 4th of July, marking a major milestone since the adoption of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The occasion commemorates the birth of the United States as an independent nation after the 13 American colonies declared their separation from British rule. Observed as a federal holiday, Independence Day is one of the country's most important national celebrations, marked by parades, fireworks, concerts, ceremonies, and community gatherings across the nation. National celebrations of America's Independence Day took place at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., however, were delayed because of a thunderstorm, which forced an evacuation of the National Mall earlier in the evening. Once the storm had passed, festivities began again, including a flyover featuring the new Air Force One and a concert. Events also took place across the U.S. to celebrate the milestone. Congress has reportedly allocated $150 million in federal funds for the birthday celebration. The program included a giant state fair honoring all the regions of the U.S., a flyover of fighter jets, and the opening of a presidential library. Festivities culminated a Salute to America fireworks display, which was the grand finale, marked by a massive flurry of blasts of more than 800,000 fireworks. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed America on its 250th birthday yesterday as the crowning achievement of human history. Trump claimed that under his presidency, the United States was prouder than ever before.
For 2.5 centuries, our American republic has stood as the crowning achievement of human history. This country is the home of freedom. This is the land of liberty. And this is a flag that's the banner of the most extraordinary, most exceptional, most incredible nation ever to exist on the face of the earth, and we're doing better now than we've ever done before. No people have done more good, shown more courage, made more progress, righted more injustice, or achieved more greatness than you, the American people. For 250 years, the United States of America has been the hope, the promise, the light, and the glory among all of the nations of the world. All over the world, they try and be like us. Nobody can be like us. And with God's help, we will always be this or even better. At 250 years old, we may be the oldest constitutional republic on earth, but our country is just getting started, because the best is yet to come. This is only the dawn of the golden age of America, and on this 250th 4th of July, we declare, just as they did 2.5 centuries ago, that for our country and for our children and for the cause of liberty, we are going to take our country to new levels, to levels not reached. We're going to make it bigger, better, stronger, and we're going to love it even more. And I just want to thank you, and the inconvenience of lightning can do that, but lightning will never stop you.
The 4 living former U.S. presidents also shared messages to mark the anniversary. Former President Joe Biden recalled the Independence Declaration's edict that all people were created equal. Former President Barack Obama reshared excerpts of a recent speech he made at his presidential museum's opening in June, when he had said every generation must take up the unfinished work of the last and carry it further. The 43rd President George W. Bush said, "The next 250 years require Americans to be citizens, not spectators." Meanwhile, his predecessor Bill Clinton took a moment to comment on U.S. politics today, stating that Americans celebrate this milestone amid another period of deep division, renewed questions about America's future and role in the world, and serious threats to U.S.'s own institutions and to the U.S. democracy itself.
Now shifting your attention to the Middle East, millions of people have attended funeral prayers for Iran's late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and the 4 members of his family killed in a US-Israeli airstrike on the 28th of February. US President Donald Trump has said neither side will shoot the other during the funeral proceedings, and talks with Iran will continue after the ceremonies. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump also revealed that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu requested a meeting at the White House, noting that the meeting could take place as early as next week. Let's take a look at the latest developments.
The funeral prayers for late Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and 4 members of his family were held in Tehran this morning. Among them was his granddaughter, who was only 14 months old. The prayers took place at the Imam Khomeini Grand Musalla, where the body of the former leader has been lying in state since Saturday for public mourning and official farewell ceremonies. Following the prayers, funeral processions will be held in Tehran tomorrow and the holy city of Qom on Tuesday. Khamenei's body will then be flown into the Iraqi cities of Najaf and Karbala for more funeral proceedings and return for burial in the Iranian city of Mashhad on Thursday. According to the IRNA news agency, Ayatollah Jafar Sobhani, one of Iran's most senior religious figures, has led the prayers for the slain Khamenei and 4 members of his family. Attendees included President Masoud Pezeshkian, Consultative Assembly Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, and Judiciary Chief Gholam Hussein Mohseni Ajay. Foreign media reported that Khamenei's son Masoud, Maysam, and Mustafa have attended the prayers for the late Supreme Leader. Revolutionary Guard Chief Brigadier General Ahmad Vahidi was also among high-profile Iranians joining the funeral prayers for the late Supreme Leader. Meanwhile, Tehran's metro network has registered more than 7 million passenger trips from 5:30 p.m. on Saturday to 7 a.m. on Sunday, according to official figures cited by the semi-official Tasnim news agency. The increase in ridership coincides with the funeral of the former Supreme Leader and members of his family at the Imam Khomeini Musalla in Tehran, which is scheduled to continue until 8 p.m. US President Donald Trump said he was following the funeral of former Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Trump claimed the Iranians are begging to make a deal, but said both sides decided to take a week off from the talks until the events around Khamenei's funeral end. In the meantime, he said neither side will shoot at each other. Trump said he was surprised to see some Iranians crying at the funeral, saying he thought people hated Khamenei. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump told Axios that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked him for a meeting at the White House and it could take place as early as next week. This would be the first meeting between the two leaders since their February Situation Room, when Netanyahu presented his plan for a joint war against Iran. An Israeli official said next week could be too soon because of Trump's trip to Turkey for the NATO summit on the 7th and 8th of July, saying the meeting might take place the week after. Netanyahu's office said the Prime Minister called Trump on Friday to congratulate him on the 250th US Independence Day, noting that the two leaders agreed to meet soon in the United States.
And in sports news, the race for World Cup glory is heating up, with the first quarter finalists of the 2026 FIFA World Cup now confirmed, following another thrilling round of knockout action.
Once again, Shalini Ratnavira has the details from the Football Corner.
Morocco and France have become the first two teams to punch their tickets to the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA World Cup following hard-fought victories in their respective round of 16 matchups. Finals after a commanding performance against Canada. Playing in France advanced after edging out Paraguay in front of more than 68,000 fans at the Philadelphia Stadium. The two more high-stakes knockout matches are set to take place tomorrow morning in local time. Brazil vs Norway, 1:30 a.m. at the New Jersey Stadium. Mexico vs England, 5:30 a.m. at the Mexico City Stadium. The licensed broadcasting rights for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in Sri Lanka are held by the Maharaja Media Network. All matches can be watched live on Sirasa TV and TV1.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us.
Do take care.